Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft has rolled out the latest optional bug fix C release update for Windows 11, 25, and 24H2, which is the optional update for November 2025. And Microsoft rolled out the update a little bit later than expected. And I think that's because they were dealing with some bugs, or also because of the Thanksgiving in the United States. Now, if we head to Windows Update History, if you do decide to install the update, because it is optional, the update is KB5070311. And this is more or less the same update I posted on when it was still in preview a couple of days ago. And when it was in preview, it had 22 new features, and now rolling out to the general public, they've bumped that up by 6 new features to 28 new features in total. So quite a big update and quite a lot going on. And if you do decide to install the update, the OS build will be bumped up to 26,200.7309 on 25H2. And if you're running 24H2, that'll be 26,100.7309. Now, just to dive straight in, because as mentioned, quite a lot going on. Now, all the new features and fixes I'm going to mention now are all rolling out gradually. So you may see them, you may not. Always keep that in mind. Now, all of these new features I'm going to mention now are for Copilot Plus PCs. So I'm just going to go through these very quickly. So your so-called regular normal PCs will not be getting these. So for agent in settings, there are 3 new features. The search results menu displays more available results now. The next new feature is recommended settings. Now makes changes faster by showing an inline agent option for recently modified settings. And the third new feature is a dialog now appears when settings can't be adjusted further. So those 3 new features are for agent in settings. And then we get 2 new features for click to do. The click to do context menu now has a streamlined design that makes it easier to access frequently used actions such as copy, save, share, and open, according to Microsoft. And whenever a large image or table appears on your screen, the context menu automatically opens so you can quickly access actions and view results. So 2 new features rolling out for click to do. And there's a new feature for camera on Copilot Plus PCs, with Microsoft saying you can now use Windows Studio Effects, which provides AI-powered camera enhancements on an additional camera such as a USB webcam or your laptop's built-in rear camera. And then on Copilot Plus PCs for File Explorer, there are 2 new features where the File Explorer search box placeholder text has been updated to highlight the enhanced Windows search experiences. And the File Explorer Home on hover actions for faster file management is now available for enterprise customers. And then the last new feature rolling out only for Copilot Plus PCs is for Windows Search, where you can now find your AI categorized photos from the Microsoft Photos app using Windows Search with semantic search. So all those new features are rolling out for Copilot Plus PCs. Now focusing on what Microsoft is calling Windows 11 PC experiences. So these new features and fixes I'm going to mention now are still rolling out gradually, but are for Copilot and your regular and normal PC. So this is across the board for everyone. Now, for the first one, if we head into our settings system and we head to advanced settings and we head to virtual workspaces, Microsoft says you can now turn on virtual workspaces in advanced settings. Microsoft says virtual workspaces allow you to enable or disable virtual environments such as Hyper-V and Windows Sandbox. So that's all taking place in advanced virtual workspaces. Now the next new feature is for Desktop Spotlight, with Microsoft saying when Windows Spotlight is set to your desktop background, the context menu now includes 2 options. Learn about this background, which on my PC is Explore Background, and Next Desktop Background. And I actually think that's a nice touch if you are using Windows Spotlight. I don't, only enabled it for this video because my Spotlight has had the same 4 images for more than a year now and has been broken, as you may well know if you watch this channel for some time. So I'm going to go next background, and there we go, just to change it up a little bit. So that's a nice touch for desktop Spotlight. And then moving on to the File Explorer, we get 2 new features and 3 fixes rolling out for the File Explorer. And I think this next one is a nice move, where File Explorer now offers a more consistent dark mode experience. So key actions such as copy, move, and delete dialogs have been updated in both default and expanded views, which Microsoft says aligns now with the dark theme, and I think this is a very nice move in the right direction. So just to show you what this is all about, I'm going to use one example, but as mentioned, copy, move, and delete dialogs have been upgraded now to a dark theme, where previously they were the light theme, so it's more consistent now across the board. So if I just head into my documents, and let's just head to these 2 folders, something larger, so it takes a bit of time to copy. Let's head down to my downloads and paste that. We can see now that that dialog now is in dark mode, where previously this used to be green and this used to be white. So I think that's a very nice move in the right direction. So better late than never, I suppose. That makes things a little bit more consistent now across the board. And then there's another new feature for File Explorer. I'm just going to mention this. Microsoft says the simplified File Explorer context menu for easier navigation is now available. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I haven't received the changes in the context menu. Common actions, Microsoft says, like share, copy, and move now appear in a single organized menu. This change, Microsoft says, removes clutter and makes commands easier to find. And I actually think that's a nice move. And I've posted a whole video on that previously when it was still very much in preview. And then there are 3 fixes for File Explorer. Microsoft says File Explorer might unexpectedly not show thumbnails for video files containing certain EXIF metadata. That's been fixed. A toolbar might sometimes appear unexpectedly in File Explorer. That's been fixed. And then when you right-click a file, the app icon next to the Open option might appear generic instead of showing the default app for that file type. That's also been fixed. So quite a lot going on for the File Explorer. And then for gaming, there's a new feature. I'm just going to mention this. Microsoft says the full screen experience, FSE, is now available on more Windows 11 handheld devices after its initial launch on Asus ROG Ally and ROG Ally X. FSE, Microsoft says, gives you a console-styled interface with the Xbox app, making handheld gaming clean and distraction-free. And then there's a new feature for input. Microsoft says pens that support haptic feedback, which are small vibrations that stimulate touch, now provide tactile responses when you interact with the Windows interface. So that's hardware specific. And there's a new feature for keyboard where the keyboard backlight performance has improved on supported HRD compliant keyboards. And then there's a new feature for mobile device settings. So for this one, we're going to head back to our settings, Bluetooth and devices, mobile devices. And here you'll see your mobile device. I'm going to click on that. And here we've got a couple of options. Microsoft says you can now add and manage your mobile devices in settings under Bluetooth and devices, mobile devices. On this page, you can manage features such as using your device as a connected camera or accessing your device's files in File Explorer. And then for the next one, there's a new feature for OneDrive, which is a user interface tweak and adjustment. So for this one, we're going to head to our accounts. Microsoft says on this page, there's a new OneDrive icon that now appears on the settings accounts homepage. So that's been upgraded. I don't know if you can see that properly in the video, but that definitely is different. And for the next one, we're going to head to our quick machine recovery. So for this, we're going to head to System, Recovery, Quick Machine Recovery. Microsoft says the new feature for quick machine recovery is QMR now runs a one-time scan on PCs with settings, quick machine recovery, and automatically check for solutions. when those are both turned on. So I think that's nice, giving us a little bit of choice now. So there we go. And then for settings, we get 2 new features and 2 fixes. Where if we head into our settings, accessibility, keyboard, and we look for related settings, keyboard, Microsoft says keyboard settings for character, repeat delay and rate, and cursor blink rate have moved from control panel now to settings. And here we can see that now featured in settings. So more migration from those legacy components over to settings. And the cursor blink rate is found under settings, accessibility, text cursor. Cursor blink rate is found on this page now, as you can see, and you can adjust that accordingly. So more legacy settings making their way into the settings app. And then sticking with the settings, just to mention the next, Microsoft says that about in settings, now has an updated layout that organizes device details and related options in one place. I haven't received that yet. Go check it out. You may have better luck than me. And then Microsoft says there's 2 fixes. Settings might become unresponsive when attempting to navigate to the network and internet section. That's been fixed. And the search bar in settings might become overlapped with the minimum and maximum buttons in the title bar. That's also been fixed. Now heading down to the taskbar and system tray. We've got 2 new features for the taskbar and 3 fixes. Microsoft says the first new feature is that animations for app groups on the taskbar have been updated. So when you hover over app groups on the taskbar, you can now see the preview transition as you slide between apps. I don't think I have received that, but nonetheless, that's a new feature. And then Microsoft says the next new feature is you can now share an open app window with Copilot directly from the taskbar. When you hover over an open app, you'll see the option to share its window with Copilot, similar to sharing in Microsoft Teams. I'm not seeing that, so that's, as mentioned, rolling out gradually. And then we've got 3 fixes for the taskbar. To automatically hide the taskbar setting might unexpectedly turn off after seeing a message saying a toolbar is already hidden on this side of your screen. And voice access doesn't work correctly when attempting to interact with the taskbar. That's been fixed. And the last taskbar fix is icons might automatically scale to be smaller, although there is enough room left without scaling changes. So 2 new features and 3 fixes for the taskbar. And then there are 2 new features for widgets, both of which I have not received. Microsoft says that you can now choose a default dashboard in widget board settings. So when live weather is showing, the widget board opens the first dashboard in your navigation bar instead of the most recently used one, making the experience consistent. And then the next new feature is the dashboard icons in the widget navigation bar now show numbers that correspond to the number of alerts from that dashboard. So 2 new features, I haven't received those. And then Windows Share has 3 new features. I'm just going to mention these quickly. The drag tray now supports multi-file sharing, shows more relevant apps, and makes it easy to move files to a chosen folder. You can now turn drag tray on or off from settings, system, nearby sharing. I haven't received that yet. And you can share OneDrive files through other apps. The options appear under Share Using. When you select the copy link, you must be signed in to your Microsoft account. So 3 new Windows Share features. And then we just got a couple more to go, guys. As mentioned, quite a lot going on with this update. We've got a fix and an improvement for display and graphics, where Microsoft says performance has been improved when apps query monitors for their full list of supported modes. And all-in-one PCs might experience issues with their brightness slider, where it unexpectedly reverts to the original brightness when interacting with it. That's been fixed. And then Game Pass, references to Game Pass in settings are now modified to reflect updated branding and benefits. Now, if you have received the new start menu, I haven't yet. This is slowly rolling out, and I get asked this question quite a lot in the comments. If you're not seeing the new start menu, it's because it's rolling out gradually. But for users with the new start menu, Microsoft says the Windows search panel now matches the new start menu size. So will match the same size as the new start menu, which may or may not be a good thing. And Microsoft says this update aims to create a smoother transition when searching. I'm still waiting for the new start menu, so maybe you have better luck than me. And then 2 fixes for lock and sign-in screens. The first is it might be very slow the first time when signing into a new account. And when your lock screen is set to slideshow, there might be a memory leak. Memory leaks can lead to performance or reliability issues over time, so that's a bit of a performance boost. Those are all rolling out, those new features and fixes gradually. And then I'm just going to mention one important fix that's on a normal rollout. It's for notifications. After the latest updates, Explorer.exe, which is your start menu, your taskbar, File Explorer, and so on, the shell of your computer, might stop responding, leading to the taskbar becoming unresponsive after certain notifications. So that's quite an important fix. So guys, as mentioned, quite a lot going on with the latest update for Windows 11 25 and 24H2 KB5070311, which Microsoft started rolling out late yesterday in my region on the 1st of December. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.